Very good morning, students. Myself, Anupama Jain, Professor SIRT Engineering College, Department of CSE. Today we are studying another topic of distributed computing system, that is distributed computing model. And there are the outlines of today's lecture. We are studying the different distributed computing models. Number one is Minicomputer model. Second is Workstation model. Third one is Workstation server model. Fourth is processor pool model. Last one is hybrid model. And also discuss these all distributed computing model architecture and its application where it is applicable. So start with first model, that is distributed computing model, that is called Minicomputer model. What is the meaning of Minicomputer model? It is a simple extension of centralized time sharing system. Like in case of centralized system, there are number of processors is there and the devices can be accessed one by one. In a distributed computing system based on this model consists of a few mini computers that is interconnected by a communication network where each mini computer usually has multiple users simultaneously logging onto it, like an example of railway reservation system. Several interactive terminals are connected to each mini computers. We show the diagram in that slide. Each user logging on to one specific mini computer has remote access to other mini computer like this. Yes. We see the number of mini computers is there, communication network is there, and each mini computer having the number of terminals or resources. And that is a simple example of mini computer model. Each and every mini computer having the rights to access another mini computer model. And in detail, we also discuss about mini-computer model. The networks allow a user to access remote resources that are available on some machines other than one onto which the user is currently logging. And the mini-computer model may be used when resource sharing with remote user is desired. Fine. So the example of mini-computer model is APRANET, APRANET is an example of distributed computing model that is based on distributed system. In APRANET model, we see this type of models is there. Number of mini computers, terminals, and here mini computers, different departments is there. Fine. Go through the next model, that is Workstation model. Yes, what does it mean? Workstation means not many computers is there. We save the consumption power. Those mini computer model have some disadvantages, like number of main power of CPU may be ideal. Like I told that the example of mini computer model, different department of engineering college, number of departments is there in our SIRT engineering college. We having the civil, mechanical, electrical, computer science, IT department. So IT and CSE department, most of the CPUs or main power can be accessed as compared to the electrical and civil. So electrical and civil department CPU or main power may be ideal. So that is the problem with mini computer model. Suppose we are implement distributed model for our SIS college, so we cannot applicable the mini computer model. We search for another model, that is maybe Workstation model or another model. So start with Workstation model. A Workstation model in distributed environment tell that the Workstation interconnected via computer network and organization have several workstations located throughout an infrastructure. For each workstation is equipped with its own disk and serve as a single user computer. See the diagram of Workstation model. In mini computer model, number of mini computers and terminals is there, but in case of Workstation model, different workstations is there and they are connected with communication network having a speed. In such an environment, at any one time, a significant proportion of the workstation are ideal, which results in the wastage of large amount of CPU time. Therefore, the idea of the workstation model is to interconnect all these workstations by high-speed LAN so that ideal workstation may be used to process job of users who are logged on to other workstation and do not have sufficient processing power at their own workstation to get their job processed efficiently. Example of workstation model, that is the Sprite system and Xerox Park. Two models are implemented using the workstation model. Number one is the Sprite system, another is Xerox Spark. Clear with the workstation server model? To save the CPU or main power, we implement workstation model. Another model is also there, that is workstation server model. Workstation server model and workstation model having the difference of server or main power. So start with workstation server model. In this model, a personal workstation having its own disk and local file system. A workstation server model with its own local disk is usually called a disk-full workstation, and workstation without a local disk is called diskless workstation model. Workstation server model is described in two types of workstation. One workstation with disk full and one workstation diskless, where in which department having the main power or required the CPU all time today support a disk full model, and those department they are work ideal or having do only work not required to processing power they have without disk or without diskless workstation model. So making a workstation server model more popular than workstation model because for building distributed computing system, here is the architecture of workstation server model. See, workstation, number of workstations is there, and mini computer for file server, another mini computer for database server, another mini computer for printer server. These workstations are without diskless, and these are the with disk full workstation having, and all other system can be accessed. In this model, a user log in onto a workstation called his or her home workstation. Fine. So normal computation activities required by the user processes are performed at the user home workstation, but requested for services provided by special servers are sent to a server providing that types of services that perform the user requested activities and return the results to the request processing to the user workstation. Clear from this point? We are telling that the workstation server model support having the servers is there. So like client server model type processing is happen. Number of workstations collect the task and send to the server workstations. They execute our task and send back or return the results to the client or processor that want or user workstation that require the processing. So therefore, in this model, the user processes need not migrate to the server machine for getting the work done by those machines. Workstation server model and workstation model not having that too much difference, but it is useful where we require main power, not the each and every time. So we implement workstation server model where the server have to complete the task or perform the task that is required by the diskless workstation models. So example of this system, that is V system. Fine. Go to the next slide. That is processor pool model. Processor pool model tell that this model is based on the observation that most of the time a user doesn't need any computing power, but once in a while the user may need a very large amount of computing power for a short time. This is the another model that is differentiate from the workstation server model. This model that the user doesn't need any computing power, but once in a while the user may need a very large amount of computing power. Like here we put the example of Amazon. Amazon, when he declared the Amazon sale or summer season end sale or festival offer sale, to that time he required the computing power in large amount, or another times he meanwhile it cannot require the most of the power. So that's why we use that time processor pool model. Whenever he required the large amount of power, he take it. Therefore, unlike the workstation server model, in which processes is allocated to each user, in processor pool model, the processors are pooled together to be shared by the user as needed. Note this, the workstation server model provides which are processes allocated to each user. But in case of processor pool model, the processors are pooled together to be shared by the user as needed, as required. They use and access the processor or server. The processor pool consists of a large number of mini computers and microcomputers attached to the network. We see the architecture of processor pool model. Processor pool model. Yeah, we see the number of terminals is there in space of workstations is there. In the workstation server model, there are number of workstations is there, that is diskless workstations. Okay, and here the number of workstation with the server. There is also a server is there, but not a workstation. There is the mini and microcomputers types of servers are attached through communication network. Their number of processors is there: run server, file server, database server, printer server, resource server, input output server. Lots of servers is there, but they are not type of workstation. They are type of the mini or microcomputer types. Okay, go to the next slide. That is processor pool model. Description is there. Each processor in the pool has its own memory to load and run a system program or an application program of the distributed computing system. In this model, no home machine is present, okay, and the user doesn't log on to any machine. Means this type of processor pool model, number of terminals is there, but not each and every terminal connect a long time to a processor. This model has better utilization of processing power and greater flexibility. Fine. This is the most useful example of processor model. Is this model has better utilization of processing power and greater flexibility. Example of processor pool model is two. We are mentioned here. The number one is Amoeba and another is Cambridge Distributed Computing Model. These are based on the processor pool model. Go to the last model, that is hybrid model. The workstation server model has a large number of computer users only performing simple interactive tasks and executing small programs. In working environment, there are a groups of users who often perform jobs needing massive computations. The processor model is more attractive and suitable. Fine. Hybrid model is the combination of more than two models or more than one model. In some system or some distributed application require the some property of processor pool model and some property of workstation server model. So we create the another model that is based on hybrid model. No diagram or architecture is mentioned here for hybrid model because it is a combination of more than one model that is described previously. Number one model is distributed computing model, that is mini computer model. Second model is workstation model. Third model is workstation server model, and another is processor pool model. So all these any models is the combination of model is called hybrid model. To combine the advantages of workstation server and processor pool model, we use hybrid model to build a distributed system. The processor in the pool can be allocated dynamically for computing. There are too large or require several computers for execution. So the hybrid model gives guarantee response to interactive job, allowing them to be more processed in local workstation of the users. Fine. So thank you, and please tune up with our SIRT.bhopal.ac.in, our college website, and hope you all understand with the different types of distributed computing model. If you have any doubt, so please ask the queries also. Thank you.